I said it last week. I said it last week. I've had a conversation this morning already since that announcement's come out. I hereby I'm going to Q-Scum.
Hello and welcome back to the Mission Darts podcast, episode 45, Matt.
45.
How are you?
Warm,
yeah. Well, bit of a mini heat wave, isn't it? Which is a bit weird for England, but
not good in this office. Obviously, I've not been in the office too long. I joined here in January, so I'm 6 months in already. Just 6 months, so it feels like I've only just moved in. And I'm on the sun-facing side, so in the afternoon it gets very warm in here. So I'm going to have to come up with some cooling mechanisms, I think. But it's been going well.
I reckon you could rent that room out when people are practicing for the Worlds. You know how hot it gets on the Ali Pali stage. Like, I can recreate that, no problem.
Well, let's indulge in that very briefly. As we are filming this on the 17th of June, we have just had released the qualifying criteria for the World Championships. Let me put it this way. If you are a tour card holder and you do not make the World Championship, hand back your tour card now, because there is no way you should be missing out on that. 80 players guaranteed, and there's going to be more than this. So 80 players are guaranteed, 40 from the main order of merit, 40 from the Players' Championship order of merit. Then you've got 4 PDPA qualifiers. Then you've got the UK and Ireland qualifier. And then you've got the home nation stuff as well, like the Super Leagues and things like that.
Yeah.
So let's just say when we go to the PDPA qualifier at the end of the year, you're going to have maybe about 35 people playing for 4 places, and it will be seeded. If you're not getting in, just give in.
I looked at it, I read it, and I'm looking going, I think there's a way me and Matt get in here. I'm literally going down going, surely in a minute it's going to say anybody that used to have a tour card, you're in. It's like, yeah, I mean, why don't you just give the whole 128 in? Yeah, there you go, you're in the Worlds. I mean, yeah, if you're not getting in that, it's time to take up ground green bowling or something. I don't know, but I've never seen anything like it. I mean,
Andy, I said it last week. I've had a conversation this morning already since that announcement's come out. I hereby I'm going to Q-Scum.
Oh, Christ. Definitely?
I'm going, yeah.
Like 100%? It's not a 90%? You're going to Q-Scum.
Yeah.
Okay. I might come and carry your darts for you or something.
Now, let's not get carried away with this too much, right? Because obviously we know, like, I've not played darts now for about 7 months. Like, Lakeside was the only thing I played in this period of about 10, 12 months. Like, so we've got to be realistic but I will play phase 1. That is a certainty. If I qualify for phase 2, which, if I'm ready, I will. I have no doubt over that. You know, one of the most successful players in Q School history. If I qualify for phase 2, as things stand right now, I wouldn't go. I would only play phase 1. So that's where we stand.
See, this is where you're going to be going probably with no expectation. You're going with, I don't really mind whether I get through or not, because I can still then play the Challenge Tour. You might actually play great. Beware of the darter that's got nothing on his shoulders, nothing that, it doesn't matter to you. Some of them people are going there going, oh, if I don't get my tour card, what am I going to do? This is my life. You're going, yeah, I'll give it a go. So beware the relaxed dart player.
See, this is where now I am in a torn zone, because I've been doing live streams. I've been practicing. You've been watching them.
Yeah,
I'm playing to the standard. I've had a couple of games, like practice games. I'm breaking the 90 average regular. So there's something there still. Now, this is where the problem lies, because next year there's a crossroads appearing already, right? Increased prize money, great chance of getting in the World Championships. I would absolutely probably bawl my eyes out if I walked onto the Alexandra Palace stage as a player again. It would mean more than it did the first time round. But we also know that Matchroom are taking over the production next year from main broadcasters other than Sky. So things like your ITV events, whether they go to Netflix, whether they stay on ITV, whatever they do, things like that, that's where you look at it and go, right, well, it's coming away from ITV. So you've got production, you've got broadcast, just to let you know. So at the moment, ITV produce it and then broadcast it. Broadcast when you put it on the channel. Now, what's going to be happening is it's going to be self-produced. So it's going to be made by Matchroom, and you will buy the production to show on your channel. So basically, instead of having to send ITV cameras to crews, the staff, everything like that, they will basically just pay, and they'll get a feed that will go onto their channel. That will be produced by Matchroom. I'm working for Matchroom. So does that mean I'm going to get my chance on broadcast next year on events such like the ITV ones potentially? So I won't get those if I went and got a card. So you see where it's like I can play phase one, do challenge tour potentially, but I don't think I can risk losing my opportunity at broadcast.
And not just that, you haven't got time to play the tour. You know you haven't. You haven't got time to play the tour. The tour's crazy now. I mean, as we're filming this, it's another 3 days of Pro Tours. I mean, it used to be back in when I was playing, it was like, right, Monday, Tuesday. Was it Monday, Tuesday? Was it Thursday, Friday? And I can't remember which it was, but whatever. It was 2 days. You saw them in the diary. There was so many of them throughout the year. Now it's like 3 days of Pro Tours. Then we'll have another day of Euros. And then if you get through, you go into the Euros. It's a 7-day-a-week job, which I suppose it should be for the money that's involved. So we know you can't do that with all your commitments to everything else. But you could certainly do the Challenge Tour. You could certainly go, you might not make them all, but you could certainly go and upset a few people there. That's for sure.
Right, let's put it this way, right? So I've worked this out because I'm going to be making a video on this. So it probably actually be a video probably out by the time people get this. But if you don't watch my channel, this is great for you. At the time of this, there are 16 Players' Championships being played. At the moment, the cutoff to be in the World Championships is £11,000. You get £1,000 for winning a match. So you don't even have to average winning a game per tournament.
That's all you need. Well, yeah, of course, with the 40-40, yeah.
So you could lose first round in 5 events and win first round in 11 and you're in, as it stands.
Yeah.
£11,000. So you don't even need to be averaging to win a tournament.
So maybe it's all coming to fruition, what people have said for a while, that, oh, you can't make a living outside the 32. Well, maybe you can now. Maybe that's what they're doing. And the cynical part of me has sort of said, have they done this so that they can extend how long the tournament lasts?
Can I just say quickly to this lorry out here, will you stop reversing? I'm trying to make a podcast up here. How considerate of people.
Well, I'm just waiting for my window cleaner to turn up. But he was here last week, wasn't he? So he won't be coming again this week. Or the fire alarms
while we're trying to do a podcast.
Yeah, I know.
In a minute, I'm going to lean out and I'm going to tell him, stop reversing your lorry.
Yeah, do you mind? We're a bit busy here. So we'll see what goes with that. And feels like there's a lot of darts. I mean, that's following your journey is going to be exciting. But it feels like there's a lot to talk about. Now, disclaimer, I think some people actually think we record this on the Sunday, going off some of the comments last week. We usually record this Tuesday, Wednesday. Let me pause you
there very quickly, actually, because I think it's important before we move on from that point. When you say following my journey, we've started that journey. Little clue for you.
Oh.
My office is full of various different types of flights because Andy came down with lots of different bits of equipment. And what we did is we was having a look at what would work with my throw, what would improve it, what would help me throw. And that video will be available pretty much as the time of hearing this on the Main Mission YouTube channel.
The day after, isn't it?
It's on Monday.
This will go out on the Sunday, and that goes out on Monday. Yeah.
So
to see that.
We used lots of different types of flight systems, different shapes, and it was interesting seeing how that. And I tell you what, if you want to see not only how the flights affect the darts, which is really interesting to watch, but a fine demonstration of skill. Because there is times where I say to Andy when I'm throwing it, like, I'll just have to get in the left-hand corner, bosh. Oh, look, I can stack on top of that, bosh.
Yeah, there's some trebles.
There's some fine
Good video.
demonstration of the skill, but some amazing information that you can learn about flights and stem combinations as well.
Yeah.
Great video. Go check that out. Main Mission YouTube channel.
Good. Well said indeed. Well said indeed. Yeah, that is a great video out tomorrow. So yeah, we record this during the week, and look at what he's on this week. Dr. Pepper. I'm just on the water.
Cherry Crush.
So,
Cherry Crush.
Cheers. Cheers. Yeah. Cherry Crush. Cheers. Yeah, we have to talk about the World Cup, which feels like this is going out a week after the World Cup, but there's so much to pull back and talk about. I've got lots of favorite bits, and it's not what you think. It's not like somebody hitting a checkout. It's I'll kick it off with the guy from Hong Kong wearing a hoodie underneath his dart shirt. I think it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I mean, like a hoodie underneath his shirt. Why? Why, Matt? Is he cold or what?
Not in Frankfurt, apparently. So I had a message this morning from an unnamed source that said, where has it gone? Where is it? Here we go. Didn't enjoy the World Cup at all. Absolutely incredibly hot. Was sweating all the way through. Had to change my shirt 3 times. 3 times.
Matt, that was really weird.
What?
Well, I presume that didn't come through at your end. My phone rang, and all I could hear was the phone ringing in my ears. I couldn't hear you. You cut off, so it must be connected, or the headphones must be connected to my phone. But you didn't hear it, no. So so all the viewers now going, "What are you on about? What are you on about?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sorry, apologies about that. Yeah, my phone rang and it came into. It must be linked. I don't know. Tech. Carry on, please do. Carry on what you were saying about this message that you'd got about the eating.
Because it was Dr. Pepper. Yeah, changed the shirt 3 times during one session because it was
players
sweat. Yeah,
wow.
Wow. So yeah. I don't think many people enjoyed it for that. I think there's a lot to dissect in regards to. Right, I'm going to say something now. I feel like an absolute horrible man for saying this, especially after the post that this person put out on social media. In fact, I'm going to try and find that post very quickly while we're having this conversation, just so I can sort of tell you why I feel horrible for doing it. Here we go. Right.
Doesn't normally bother you.
No, but I feel bad for this one, but I also think it's right. There's the post. How would I describe my mood in the last 18 months? I'm trying to be a winner, trying to show my kids I'm a champion. But the more I struggle, the more I realize I'm teaching them a lesson in perseverance, not giving up, never back down, never lose faith. While I struggle to see light at the end of the tunnel, there is light at the end of the tunnel and I'll reach it. Great post. Amazing.
Okay.
Jules van Dongen.
Oh.
I think he shouldn't have played. I think in an event, he's not going to Pro Tours. Why is he not going to Pro Tours? Because he's not confident in winning money. Mm-hmm. Now, I get there's going to be a lot of people maybe not happy with me saying this. I also understand that there's probably people that fully support what I say here. It's very controversial. But I don't think it was fair on Danny Lauby for him to take that position. I don't think it was fair on America, who have had a lot of development with the CDC. There's a lot of amazing players over there right now who could have made America a really competitive nation. Instead, they played Bahrain in one of the lowest standard games we've seen. And I said on here and predicted that Hong Kong would win that group, and they did. And they ended up being on favourite to win that group. And if that was, let's say, Alex Spellman, for example, just to chuck a name out there, there'll be loads of people that would suggest other American names. There's a big depth of talent there. And like I say, if this was a Pro Tour, would he have gone? No, he wouldn't have, because he would have been fearful of losing money and not confident enough of winning anything. So I think it was not fair on Danny. I don't think it was fair on America that he played. I don't think it was the right thing to do. I love the post that he's put out. I think it put a very positive spin on things, but he wasted the World Cup for Danny Lauby. It's a team event, and there were better options. And if he doesn't turn up to a Pro Tour in the next few months, he's got every right to take the position. It's his position. He's earned it for what's happened in the past. But right now, could you call that potentially selfish?
Oh, yeah. Of course you could. Yeah, he's gone. I might never get in the World Cup again. So therefore I'm going. But yeah, I watched it. And we thought he was going to throw left-handed, didn't we? And in the end, he threw right-handed. But you could tell he had, as usual, he's got an injury. No, he's not. He's got dartitis. Why they can't just say that? It's almost like he's not got cancer. So, it's like you can just say he's got dartitis. It's we all know what it is. There's lots of amateur players be able to resonate with what that is. So just say, look, he's got dartitis. He's struggling to let go of it. Blah blah blah. Move on. Because of that, it spoiled the viewing. I felt for him. As we've seen people with it, we've coached people with it, and I felt for him, and I thought, this isn't enjoyment. He's really struggling. Danny's trying extra hard because he's trying to play for two, which you can't do. Doesn't matter who you are, you can't do that. And was it? Yeah, I mean,
and that's what I felt for. I felt for Danny, because he's worked hard to get in that position. What if he goes and loses his card and doesn't get the opportunity again? He was never going to be competitive in the World Cup. They was never going to win it. You want to go into a tournament having that belief that, do you know what? Even if if I'm the only person who believes it, I believe it. He would have gone there knowing he's not winning. Probably knew they weren't getting out the group. That must be horrible. And to know that it's not your fault.
Yeah.
So controversial. I get it. I'm expecting altering opinions in the comments. I'm expecting one of these news articles to clickbait the hell out of this and to take it and try and make them say it. But I'm just purely posing the thought point here that should he have gone? Now, if it was me, I would have gone, but I am selfish. And I will own that. I would have gone. I would have took the place. I would have took the payday. Of course, yeah, I'll go along. What, a couple of grand, get to play on TV. That's great for my sponsors, great for everything. I would have took it 100%. But it doesn't make it right just because I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting one. And like you say, people will have their own opinions, both sides on that. Both sides on that. So other things in the World Cup, but I seem like I have a really long list here. And while we're talking about that, let's jump into England, Germany, because I thought Gerwyn Price's comments afterwards about England were quite apt, didn't you? Where he said they didn't turn up together, they didn't sit together, they didn't look like a team, and they certainly didn't play like a team. It just didn't look like a team. Certain teams that you saw, you're like, oh, they're so invested in each other. Well, Northern Ireland, they won it, but by God, did they gel? I mean, Rock and Gurney looked like they'd been mates for 30 years. They were so into it for each other. And that's what you need in pairs. I've actually won a pairs. I won the Northern Ireland Open pairs with my partner, and we had been best mates for 10 years prior. So I know what that takes. But England, you can't take the two best players in the world and expect them to win I don't know whether they don't get on. I think that's probably
get on. Yeah, just get on great.
Yeah, they just didn't. But they are rivals at the end of the day. They are going to be going at each other for the next God knows how many years as the two best players in the world. It's very hard to take that and go, oh no, we're best mates now. Let's play pairs together. Difficult. And were you that surprised that Germany beat them on home soil? Because I wasn't.
I wasn't, because if we replay that World Cup every week for the rest of the year, you'll back England for the next 51 weeks. Yeah,
of course.
Let's be honest about it. You wouldn't go, well, they've lost, there's doubts there now. You'd back England every time. And you'd back them at odds on. It hasn't dislodged my belief that they are the best two players in the world. It hasn't dislodged. But what it did do, and what it has done, is remind me of some excellent partnerships over the years. Gerrard and Lampard never worked together for England.
Yeah.
What if you put Ronaldo up front with Messi? Would they have scored 100 goals each? No. One of them would have done really well, the other one would have flopped. Or they both would have flopped because they'd have tried doing things their own way. Putting the two best, with history's taught us. But what also is that lingering doubt that they are that much better than everyone else. But I'm going to also put this out there. I mean, Ricardo Pietreczko, Martin Schindler both won European tours. Martin Schindler recently won Pro Tours. As an individual game, that is the greatest achievement as a one-off match that both of them have ever had in their lives. That is the biggest win, and they did it together. And, when we're looking at German darts and the development of German darts, viewing figures, incredible. Done a lot of research on the numbers, viewing figures. When we look at Dutch numbers compared to the UK, big. When we look at the German figures compared to the Dutch, we're doubling, if not trebling. And the thing is, the Dutch viewing figures are massive when there is a Dutch player in the World Championship final. They go to like 2 million, 3 million. They're big. Germany's still beating those numbers without having a force to get behind. Is this now the force that German darts needs to really get that sort of, I won't say backing because it's got the backing, it's got that boom, it's there, the viewing figures are there. Give them something to invest in.
It's interesting. I don't see either of those two ever being a top 10 player. I don't see it. I see them both potentially being top 20 players for quite a while, but neither of them excite me enough to go, yeah, you're going to be top 10. Whereas I see other players and I think that. But very likable guys, got personalities, the pair of them, crowd getting behind them. It's good for the world of darts. I thought Pietreczko was fantastic. I thought he almost pulled Schindler through, and I thought it was going to be the other way around. Brilliant, good to see. And as sad as it sounds, as an Englishman, I wasn't that disappointed when England got beat. It almost made me think, oh, well, that's the tournament wide open now then, isn't it? Because I thought, like everybody else, England were going to win it, and it was going to be a bit of a damp squid. And because they got beat, it kind of, I tell you what it made me think. Had England had an easier first game, things might have been different. Germany first game, tough, very tough.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that definitely made a difference. I've got to ask you about one thing while we're talking about pairs. It drives me mad. The touching hands after every throw.
Hate it.
26. There you go, mate. There you go. Yeah, 26. 11. Yeah, cheers. Yeah. What is that, Matt?
If we play pairs together, let's say we go, right, Andy, we're going to go to the Welsh Open and we're going to film some content. We're going to do some at Western Super. And we go, right, let's play pairs together. And you at 26, you ain't getting a fist bump.
No.
What the hell are you doing, Andy? Sort your stuff out. 26? Watch this.
If I come for a 45, fist bump, that's I'm going to get a smack in the face.
Oh, yeah. That's a fist bump you're going to get. What, 26?
Yeah, exactly.
Despite the rate my hockey joke all the time, 26.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I'm not into that. You know, a 180 or a big checkout. Absolutely. Get it, but after every single throw, it started driving me mad. Other things I noticed. Devon Peterson back. Obviously, we spoke about Devon, didn't we, last week? Is always managed to find a way into the worlds, didn't he, Devon? Using the Condor 120 flights like that Connor Scott uses now. Right now, I've tried them and they don't fly. I'm not a fan. Connor does great with them. But when you've been struggling for as long as Devon has, I'm not sure doing it. It's almost like going, oh, do you know what? I'm really struggling. I'm going to use them old Phil Taylor darts with the tiny little flights. Yeah, okay, good luck. I kind of thought, Devon, what are you doing? And to be fair, his partner played great. He had a lovely action, that guy. Who was using mission darts.
Yeah, I remember. Do you know what, right? So when I think it was COVID year, in the Players Hotel or the World Championship, you had to book a practice slot in the practice room because there was only allowed a certain amount of people in there. And I was meeting up with Danny Baggish. So me and Danny Baggish hooked up together and we was going in there together to do our practice. And we either was in there with Michael van Gerwen and Vincent van der Voort because there's two boards. So we can tend to find was in there with those. Or the other player who was in there a lot was Dimitri Vandenberg and Carol, is it Caroline? It's Carol Asim or something, his second name. But sure. He was in there a lot. And I was watching him practice and I was like, this guy's good. This guy's very good. And it didn't transfer to the game. But I thought this guy could be dangerous. And when I saw he's playing with Devon, I thought, it's good to see his name come up again, because I think there's a player in there. And I think if he can commit to the tours a little bit, commit to the systems maybe, that I think we get to see that player come through. I think he's good. Yeah. Which I'm going to transition very quickly, because there's something else I looked at here. Asian players. How many quality Asian players is coming through? And, they talked about the sponsorship and the things that are sort of letting them down. And then I thought the criteria has just come out for the World Championship. Let me have a look to see how much support Asia are getting. Well, PDC Asian Championship winner, runner-up, Asian Tour, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So 7 players from the Asian Tour are going to be getting. Now, that's what we need to see. That Asian Tour get back.
And that says to me you're going to see some shocks. You're going to see some things happen. I can remember in the past watching, do you remember Royd and Lamb? Royd and Lamb? Wore the fancy glasses.
Yeah.
Famously, I think it was against Wes Newton, needed 50, and he just went, Bull, thanks.
Quality player.
Yeah, absolutely. And
we got a Japan Tour qualifier, a China qualifier.
Wow.
Do you know what? I'm controversial today, aren't we? There's something I don't like in there.
Oh. Go on. Oh, don't tell me there's a Euro qualifier. Please don't tell me there's a Euro
3
qualifier.
development tour players.
3?
3 challenge tour players, right? That's fine. Where I don't agree with it is 4 off the women's series.
4? Well, how's that fair?
Gender specific part or an open category, and the open category is getting less than a restricted entry.
Didn't it used to be winner and runner up in the development in the World Youth that got in?
They're in already, yeah. Development tour winner and runner up.
They're in as well.
Yeah.
So potentially 5 from the development tour then. If it was
potentially 4. You got the World Youth Champion, and then 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
The runner-up doesn't get it. Right.
Challenge Tour, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So if anything, you're giving more places to the development tour, which is restricted entry, because you've got to be under a certain age. You're giving more to the women's, which is restricted entry, because you've got to have a certain gender. And then open category, Challenge Tour, where there's no age restriction, there's no gender restriction. You're giving 3 places rather than 4, like the other ones are getting 4. Who thinks this stuff up? How can you have 4 spots to restricted entry and 3 to an open?
This goes back to what you were saying last week. How many different ways in, therefore, would somebody like Bo have? She can play on the Challenge Tour. She can play on the Development Tour. She can play on the Women's Tour. And she can get in because she's won a Women's World Championship. That's not right, is it? You can't have one person only having one route in.
Then the UK and Ireland tour card holder and associate qualifier, she can go in that. So that's 4.
So if you're ranked
Players Championship Order of Merit, because she's high on the Challenge Tour, so she can get in for the Players Championship Order of Merit.
So if you're 81st on the, if you're not in the top 40 in the world and you're not in the top 40 pro tours,
Women's World Match Play, there's a qualifier
hang
there.
On. Could you potentially be 81st in the world and you've only got one way to get in, and that's through the qualifier?
Yeah.
Whereas she could have 6, 7, 8 different ways to get in. So that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, we digress. Peter Wright swapped his darts. Of course he did. That's nothing new.
Can I just have a quick call out here? If there are any under 23-year-old German female players out there who are averaging around 90, get in touch with me. I have a sponsorship deal lined up for you. So get in contact with me. You've just got to be averaging 90 or 85. 85 will do. In fact, actually, with the amount of routes you've got, let's go 80. Let's go 80. If you're averaging 80, if you're under 23, and you're a female from Germany, get in touch. We'll get you in the World Championships.
We might clip that bit, Matt, where you just say, if you're female, German, and under 23, get in touch. We'll just clip that bit. All right. We'll put that out on TikTok, see how many replies you get. So Peter Wright, smoothie darts, Matt. This week, do you know what? I'm going to say it. It's over for him. It's over. He's never winning another major again. I think he's gone. I think it's gone from a bit of fun of changing my darts every now and again. Oh, he hasn't turned up with the darts he just won that tournament with. Oh, that's unusual. To, oh, he's changing his darts every day. To, oh, now he's changing his darts every other leg. I think it's over. I think it's gone too far. I think it's gone too far. I don't see him winning another major. I don't, honestly.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions then, and I want you to just give me yes or no's.
All right.
Do you see Peter Wright reaching the second round of the World Match Play?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see Peter Wright reaching the quarterfinals of the World Grand Prix?
No.
Do you see Peter Wright winning the European Championship?
No.
Do you see Peter Wright reaching a European Tour final?
No.
Okay, so with those no's in mind, that means you're estimating that Peter Wright is going to lose quite a sizable amount of his prize money because he's defending 46.7% of it in 2023. So if we take off that European Championship, he'll be in some of these, so he'll get a bit of defense. So let's just play it safe and let's take off 130,000. That would put Peter Wright down to world number 28 by the end of the year.
Wow.
But, okay,
wow.
And this is where we can get a bit statistician here. So let me just bring up the database. So we'll have a look at Peter Wright.
What's he defending in the Worlds?
So Peter Wright right now, so we're looking at that drop could go to 28. It could go further. Because if I was to look at the world rankings in averages, so we're going to not look at results, we're going to look at averages only.
Okay.
Peter Wright would be the world number 38.
There you go. Yeah.
So he's not performing like a top 32 player, which means eventually he's going to come out the top 32. And what he's defending this year, likelihood that could happen by around about the summer of next year.
Interesting. Okay, well, that was my gut feeling, and it could well come true. We shall see. Watch this space, clip this, and remember us this time next year. Couple more things before we move on. Did you see the camera zoom in on Daryl Gurney's bottom when they won twice? He bent right over. He bent right over, and all you could see was his crack twice. I'm like, please take the camera away. What are you doing? That was horrendous. But my favorite thing, and this is weird to have a favorite thing like this. My favorite thing of the World Cup, and something that my headphone just dropped out. It hasn't done that for weeks. Wales getting their runners-up medals. I've lost him. He's gone. Audio listeners won't notice. Oh, he's back. He's back. Wales was runners-up, given their runners-up medal, put them on, looked at them. I think Johnny might have even kissed it or whatever. Proud to have their runners-up medals on. As opposed to, and you know I'm not a big football fan, watching football when they get runners-up medals and the minute they're put on, they take them back off. And that is so disrespectful. I hate it, Matt. Now, you're more into football than me, which is why I want your opinion on it. You must have seen it, like Champions League final. They go up, the runners-up, there you go, there's your runners-up medal. They take it straight off and either they chuck it on the floor, put it in the pocket because they don't want to be seen as being a runner-up. The Welsh team were runners-up and were proud to be wearing that medal. And I went, good on you. So you damn well should be. That's a really good thing to do. And I'm sick of footballers taking them off.
I don't think footballers want to do it. I don't think people want to do it. I think a lot of this comes down to pressure of social media, shall we say, for example. Because everyone, I've lived in this world of professional sport. It's crazy how much people want to run it down. Like, achievements are different depending on individuals, what one person sees as an achievement. But there's a lot of people out there who want to speak like they're the world number one, for example. I've got this winning mentality. So where are you then? If all you know is winning, where's your winning? Show me where that is. Or I only speak like, no, you're channeling through someone who's successful. You're not being successful. And there's a lot of things like, remember years ago when Conor McGregor was very gobby in the UFC, and there was this interview where someone piped up and he goes, who is that guy? Right? Great moment, nice little put down. But what made that moment so good is because Conor McGregor was so elite. He was right at the very, very top. He was amazing. And because he was at the top, he could talk down to people. What makes me laugh is when you see people on social media go, who's that guy? And it's like, who are you? Like, the reason it worked for Conor McGregor is because he was so much bigger than everybody else. It doesn't work when you're at the bottom. And it's like, when, then like at a football game, when someone's getting substituted or something, they go, who? And it's like, right, so 10,000 people who have done nothing are going to sit here now and ask who this professional football player is. And, like, the other one you see is when, like, someone will put something up. Let's say, for example, they'll go, Matt Edgar said this. And then someone will go, who's that guy? I've never heard of him. It's like, right, so someone you've never heard of, like, that's a put down, is it? That just shows your ignorance. It's like, you get all these sort of things. And I think it comes from that mentality. And, I tell you my favorite one. Here's my favorite one. Like, let's say, for example, if I said, I don't like what James Wade's just done. And someone will come and go, how can you talk about James Wade? Because you haven't won what he's won. Okay, so why are we having this conversation? Because you've not won what I've won. So by the rules of the conversation that you're setting, you've just discredited your whole argument. Because you've just set the rules that I have to achieve the same to have the opinion. You haven't achieved what I have, go away. Like,
well, thankfully, our listeners aren't like that, Matt.
No, and I think that's the problem. I think it's a peer pressure because they think they have to behave in a certain way because there are 10,000 world number ones watching.
Yeah, I think it makes them look very immature, to be honest. Anyway, somebody who is immature, who's the current, and I can say that as the current world champion, he's immature. He's only 18, so he hasn't matured yet. It's just got an MBE, as has Luke Humphries. What's that all about?
Do you know what?
18 years old?
Do you know what, right? I'm going to sound like a right grumpy guy today, aren't I?
Everybody's in the comments going, yeah, and?
Do you know what? I really don't like it when people are given MBEs for the purpose of which they are. Now, great dart players, don't get me wrong. Possibly Humphries, especially as world champion, one of the best world champions we've had for recent times, in terms of then going on winning other things. Probably the best world champion we've had since Michael van Gerwen peak. But how can you get an MBE for services to darts? They're just playing the sport. They're not offering services. They're not developing the game. They're not growing. You're back in. I'm trying to do a podcast. They're not developing the game. They're not growing the game. They're not going out and doing voluntary work. They're not going out and doing all these different things. For services to darts, I would say you've provided more services to darts in 2025, where you've done more voluntary bits, where you've impacted the sport beyond playing it. You've done more services to darts in 2025. Seriously, come on. We're doing a podcast here. So just because you play it really, really good, does that mean you're providing services to darts?
No. It should be for ambassadors or for people that have retired and then they've set up youth academies and they've put
Steve Brown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's his Services to Darts award?
Yeah.
He sacrificed his career to invest in the development of the JDC, which is now the staple of darts within the world. Where what is Steve Brown's MBE for Services to Darts?
Yeah.
Now, this is again where I'm not discrediting them getting it. They're absolutely, but if we're talking Services to Darts, where's Rod Harrington's, who developed the youth system? The development tour system that saved Michael Mangura's career.
Yeah. There's a million people we could think of, and those two wouldn't be at the top of my list. So
for Services to Darts, it's just the wording of it. It's the wording.
No, it's like, oh well, you two are really good, so we'll give them you. It's I'm not. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. A couple of comments this week, Matt. First one, apologies, I haven't got the guy's name. It came through, I think, on the email.
While you're saying comments, please, if I am wrong, see, I don't understand MBEs and everything. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments and why. If you think differently, educate me, because I don't understand it. And I'm openly saying I don't understand. I just look at the wording, Services to Darts, and I don't understand why that's there.
Yeah, I agree. So, just an interesting, we get quite a few of these, came through from an email. A new tournament, it's pairs, and they want to know who would win. And the criteria is if you're ranked number 1 in the world, so Luke Humphries, you have to play with the player ranked 128. And the player ranked 2 has to play with 127, 3 plays with 126, etc., etc., until you end up with the 2 in the middle, ranked 63 and 64, playing with each other. So he said, who do you think would win? Would it be 2 consistent guys in the middle, or would it be the number 1 with the world number 128?
Great question.
I thought with your stat knowledge, you'd be able to work out in your head whether the combined averages of 1 and 128 are better than the combined averages of 63 and 64.
Okay, well, Littler's going to be number 1, isn't he? Averages 100. 100.38. So what would be someone around? Let's have a look, see if we can get. So we need someone a little less than that. What about
someone who's just got a talk up? Bradley Brooks?
You're joking. That's what I've just put in.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, God, we're even thinking alike now, Matt. This is a worry.
No, of all the people, we went to Bradley Brooks. So he's number 111 at 88. So that's about 190. So what about someone
average?
So we're talking
95.
So we're talking about a bit less than that, won't it? So it'll be about 186, 187, because that's someone 111. So let's have a look at someone sort of mid-ranked. So we need a mid-ranked player. Of all days, they could do some drilling, eh? They have to do it today.
So a mid-ranked player is going to be Alan Suter.
Oh, yeah.
Don't tell me you've just put in Alan Suter. Alan's going to be slightly higher than that.
Okay, Alan Suter, slightly higher. He's 59. So near enough around the mark. He's on a 91.59. So we can say it's about a 91.20. So that would be 180. So yeah, number 2. Yeah, so it's still
so
lower
the 1
than,
and the 128 would win, wouldn't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought it was a good question. And there you go. We've given you the stats to back it up. Right. Comment of the week. Not done this for a few weeks, Matt. Comment of the week. And it's because it's made me laugh. So this is if you send me an email to YouTube at missiondarts.com, I'll send you some goodies. This is going to, I think it's Emil. So it's AAMIL_. And he has said in relation to last week's podcast, so if you haven't listened to last week's yet, you need to get the reference. In relation to Matt setting off his car alarm in his underwear outside a darts venue, this sounds less like a wardrobe malfunction and more like a PDC audition gone rogue. Somewhere in that crowd, someone definitely thought they were witnessing the start of a new darts-themed OnlyFans. I thought that's how people think stuff up like that. That made me laugh. The darts themed OnlyFans. Just imagine darts players in their pants. And I'll tell you what, if that gets you going, you've got some weird fetishes there. Oh, dear me. So, yeah, good comment. Love it. Comment of the week.
I don't think I've done anything silly this week.
Have you not?
No.
In a whole week? Well, you spent some of it with me, so I kept you down the straight and narrow. But
I'm sure there was something that happened and we went, that's going in the pod.
It probably was. There probably was. But yeah, talking of which, first episode of Rate Market will have gone out by the time you're listening to this. So if you haven't checked that out, please do go and check that out. First episode. Okay, another question for you. This is from me. If from tomorrow, everybody in the world had to use the same set of darts, it's a 23-gram ring dart, standard flights, who would win? You can't change anything. Everybody's got to use the same set of darts. So I want you to use a bit of your, I don't know, that you've seen a lot of dart players. You've seen people pick up other people's darts. You've seen a lot of different throws. You're probably going to say you would win, but because you are pretty good with any dart.
I would say it matters on the dart because to someone, it's going to be very close to their actual dart, isn't it? It's going to replicate someone's. I don't think it's as much variable as you think, because let's say you go for a 23 ring grip dart and there's 10 players that use something very similar. Those 10 players are going to be at the advantage. Whereas...
Okay, let me change it then to a dart that nobody uses. We come out with a dart tomorrow that nobody uses, and we go, right, from tomorrow, everybody's got to use this dart. Or we could say Phil Taylor's dart because he doesn't play anymore. So, it doesn't really matter. It's a dart that nobody uses. So I'm kind of really asking the question, who's got the most natural ability to just play with anything? Because you think their throw is so good.
Someone I've seen play with a lot of different darts and play very, very well, especially with Ryan Searle's darts, Gerwyn Price.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. That's interesting. I haven't seen anywhere near as many as you. I remember Joe Cullen once coming to the office and picking up a set that we just had knocking about, and he just picked them up, mate, at 180 first 3 darts. I was like, that's a bit mind blowing.
Like I did in Blackpool with your 119 finish.
Yeah, you can clearly throw my darts, even though you don't even grip it in the right place where there's a scallop and a micro grip and all sorts. But yeah, you can. You can throw my dart. You do have the ability to throw most darts, which is quite unusual. I'm sure there's people at home going, I wish I could throw one set, let alone multiple sets.
If I'm going quiet as well, it's because they're doing some building work all of a sudden. So I keep muting my mic so I don't give it. They keep banging on. They're doing some building work down here all of a sudden. They're banging and drilling. It's like, why? We're filming a podcast here. Like,
I know.
Why today?
It's every week. It's every week. It's like the window cleaner edition. Then it's then it's the builders edition. Then it's Amazon the fire alarm edition. Oh God!
At least I can mute my mic, so like when it's going, I can just jump out for a sec, so people don't have to hear.
Yeah. So you're going for Gerwyn Price on that, which I think is quite interesting. Get in the comments and let us know. I just want to remind people again to watch the video tomorrow night, because finally getting the opportunity to try a few different setups with you was really, really interesting. I think it was more interesting than I thought it would be. And I think the viewers will get a lot out of it, out of looking at what happens. Because the amount of people that come to a precision and they're like, they've got a dart in mind, or I like this, I like that, but they never even consider the stem and flight. It's like, I just buy whatever I like the look of. I like the look of them green, whatever they are, so I'll buy it. I like them, and then we put something different, and they're like, why is it doing that? Well, you've just changed the balance and the air resistance and everything. So it's really, really interesting. I hope you're going to give what ended up being the winners a good go. Give them. I know you're going to at some point have to practice. You can't just wing it all the way through modus. And yeah, that was the one. Yeah, that's the. Is it the
Wing Slim or something?
No. It's the Cosmo one that looks that's a bit smaller than that, And so they push on at the end. But we're kind of giving the game away now a little bit. But that's it. That's the one. So when you watch the video back, or those watching for the first time, if you can see this on screen, this weird looking flight was really, really successful for Matt. And these that are still on my desk, which you will have seen used in the World Cup, are available to buy, I believe, either this week or next week. One of the shortest darts I've ever seen. So there you go. I think they're going to do really, really well. And I've heard on the grapevine, Matt, I've heard on the grapevine that by the time this podcast goes out, which will be Sunday the 22nd. Oh, that reminds me, it's my birthday next week. Sunday the 22nd, yours should be back in stock. So anybody listening going, I wish the Edgars were back in stock. They should be back in stock by the time you hear this podcast. So that's delighted Matt, and hopefully delighted a few of the viewers. Right now, we're 50 minutes in, Matt. It's normally about this time you come up with a game that I can't do. I managed to do it last week. So whether that's the last one we ever do and I can retire on that, I don't know.
Okay. But, I'm going to test your darting knowledge. I think you can get this wrong.
Oh, thanks.
Tell me the lineup for the PDC Women's World Match Play.
Isn't that like 16 players?
It's the top 8 of the Women's Order of Merit.
Oh, top 8. Okay. I'm going to go Bo Greaves. I've got one right. And go Fallon Sherrock. And go Rhiannon O'Sullivan.
No.
She's got to be there.
No.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to go Lorraine Winstanley.
Just.
Yeah, because she got to the final, didn't she, last week? And she lost 6-5 to Bo. I'm going to go, she's called something like Paula, young girl. Help me out.
Paige Pauling.
Yes, Paige Pauling.
No.
Is she not? Oh, that was, you helped me out, but she wasn't in it. Robin Byrne?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good shout.
Dangerous player. Could be an outsider.
Oh, Lisa Ashton.
Yes.
Oh, I'm doing well here. I must have got at least 5 or 6 by now. Dieter Hedman? Anastasia? I'm actually better at naming female players than I am at naming male players.
You're missing 3.
I'm missing 3, am I? Right, okay. Suzanne Smith?
No.
No. 3 more. Can't be Trina. She's
no.
Not anymore. Come on, Andy. Think about it. Who have you seen playing in these finals recently? No, it can't be Laura Turner, can it? No, I didn't think so.
Do you give in?
Yeah, go on, give me the last 3.
Gemma Hayter.
Wouldn't have got.
Trissa Vinnakainen.
Definitely wouldn't have got.
Noah Lynn van Leuven.
Ah, of course, yeah. I did pretty good. I think 5 out of 8. That's not bad. I mean, I know I had like 15.
You named about 50 people, yeah.
Yeah, I did, yeah. But I managed to get 5.
Yeah.
Is it ranked? Is it like 1 to 8?
Yeah. So 1 plays 8.
So Bo must be number 1.
Bo's number 1.
Fallon's number 2.
Lorraine Winstanley first round. Fallon plays Robin Byrne.
Oof.
Yeah. So 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, 3 plays 6, 4 v5.
Give us a bit of insight. I always used to hear that what you didn't want to be is rank 32 in the world because you got Phil Taylor second round in the Worlds. Is that how it worked back in the day?
I think it's one of those things that you don't want to be seeded that when you're in a position, but when you've been there, when you're going up, you don't care. You're just happy to be there. Like Kevin Painter, for example, when he was number 16, it was annoying because he'd been around for long enough. He wanted to progress up the rankings. But if you just got to number 16, you're like, great, I don't have to play a seed in the first round. You see the bonus of it. But if you've been there for a while, it's a negative.
Yeah. That's what makes the UK Open so special, isn't it?
Oh yeah, love stuff like that.
Yeah, potentially you can get through to the final without playing as a top 16 player. It is possible.
I don't even know what these are drilling and hammering. Like, what are they even doing? Like, there's nothing here to drill and hammer.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you then. What's going on? Is the builders in again? People listening, if anybody's listening to this for the first time, like, what on earth? Anybody that's been with us for 45 weeks of doing the pod is like, yeah, this is just normal. This is just normal. This is just Matt and Andy. They've not got on to licking batteries this week, so it's a pretty sensible week. We've talked a lot of darts. I'd have to say this is the most darts we've ever talked about in our darts podcast. I really don't recall us ever talking this much darts for this long. Who even knew we could? So people are either going to be getting in the comments going, can you get back to normal next week, lads? Or they're going to be going, love that. Great insight this week. And I'm guessing it'll be split down the middle. So unless you've got anything else for me, I'm good to go, Matt. I'm good to go and say thank you.
Okay. Do you believe in ghosts?
Don't want me to go, do you? And you've asked me this before. And I said no last time.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather in a bungalow or a house?
Oh, I've lived in both. What do I prefer? I think I prefer a house.
What is the weirdest thing you've ever put ketchup on? Because someone had a moan at me in the comments when I said I put ketchup on my steak. Did you see that? I love ketchup
I
on
wouldn't
steak.
do that.
Oh, I love ketchup on steak. Oh.
Can I give you one of my, there's one then, rather, I don't really have an answer to that, but I've got you give me your weird food combination and I'll give you mine. I'll go first as I brought
See, I don't think I've got a weird food combination. I just see it as normal.
Ketchup on steak. That's pretty weird. It's not a lot of people do that. You put it on the chips, but not on the steak because ketchup makes things sweeter. You don't want meat to be sweet.
Oh, ketchup. You put ketchup on a burger. Still beef.
Okay. So mine is jam on cheese.
No, what is wrong with you?
Because it's like the sweet and sour thing. I love sweet and sour. So cheese is quite bitter, isn't it? It's not a sweet, and then you put the sweetness of the jam, and so you get a cracker, a layer of cheese, and if you think about it, it's chutney. What's chutney invented for? To go with cheese. So instead of the chutney, you put jam on. So you get a layer of cheddar and some strawberry jam on top. Amazing. I used to go out with a girl that used to put golden syrup onto Weetabix and just eat it like that. No milk. You just get a Weetabix, golden syrup, and that's your breakfast.
I see why you're not with her anymore. You're clearly mental. So.
Another thing that's really good, freeze grapes. Put grapes in the freezer and eat them. Great.
We should have
take on a whole
great
new texture. Do you think people are clicking off now? Or do you think they're going, go on, give us another? Because
I also think that there's someone out there right now going to the fridge going, I'll just put the grapes in the freezer.
Yeah, they're going to try it. Put some grapes in the freezer. You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed what they take on a whole new texture.
He's been hammering for 20 minutes. What is he possibly hammering for 20 minutes?
A nail? A big one.
I keep having to mute the mic because I don't want to burst people's eardrums.
Dear, oh dear. Well, Matt, I think that's enough. We've done grapes in the freezer, ketchup on steak, and cheese and jam. On that note, it's been a pleasure. I'll catch you next week.